happened in a very long time.
We'd lost all hope, and then...
And then you swooped in out of nowhere to save us.
He would have killed us to feed his dragon.
Indeed. Masaranis, Lethaline.
It was a team effort.
It often is. Some fights can't be won alone. Celebrate the victories as they come. They're rare enough.
And tomorrow we'll have to deal with another archdemon.
And it will have regained strength. Elgar'nan sacrificed his own Venatori to it. A punishment for their failures. The Venatori who escaped scurried back to Deventer. The Veil Jumpers will fight our own battles against the gods. Any help you can offer would be appreciated.
Might be a good time to see what Solus thinks of all this.
No. I had to kill a man once who did blood magic on nugs. 100 little pigs with hands came after me. All together in one big writhing ball. Have you ever tried to...
I've got a better one. You know what? Big heap of red tentacles. The damn thing was a hillside. Size of a...
How did you kill...
lamp oil. Everything's...
If the two of you were gonna open a bottle, you might have told me first.
It's not a good bottle.
Might have to pick up a supply. I have a feeling you'll need it. Is anyone else hungry? Maybe I should cook something.
What about you, Rick? What's the worst job you've ever been on?
Nevin Harding didn't tell you about our hunt for Solus, then.
They don't tell it the way you...
I mean, it ended with the elven god of lies in my head.
You joining us?
Fine. I'll cook.
Maybe just for a minute.
Rook's story first. Then Lucanus owes me one about this.
Mierda. That
It's nice to see my men's getting together. Along together.
The Dalish prisoners escaped safely?
We got them away free and clear.
Good. I do not know how you have found your dealings with the Dalish. Whatever my frustrations with them, it was a... Thank you for allowing me to...
You and Elganon were really tearing into one another back.
I needed to goad him to anger. But yes, while all of the... Or perhaps it is more honest to say that you have met him now. Can you see how he and I might frustrate one another?
The two of you are too much alike. Both of...
I have no desire.
No, you just want to be able to correct anyone who's not doing everything the way you'd have done it.
I see you have been observing me as well during these conversations.
All right, I can see how you and Elganon would hate each other.
He has always been what I most feared becoming. Callous. To have that much power and no one...
Well, he had you. You said you found the Dalish frustrating.
It is unfair to them. I lived for thousands of years. I awoke in a world that had forgotten you, and those who tried to remember Elven history.
I suspect them calling Elganon and Gillenane and all the rest gods didn't go over well with you.
Indeed. To see that the history the Dalish worked so hard to preserve was the propaganda of tyrants. I tried to explain the truth to one clan. When I convinced... After that, I hid my...
And every mage knows that what we see in the Fade might not be literally true.
Yes. The Dalish had no reason to believe me. Though we may have seen the light.
We would have had a hard time getting out of there without your help.
I did not spend this long preparing you only to lose you to Elganon. No, I...
Okay.
When we first met, I saw you only as a foolishly confident child. I gave you information to oppose Elganon out of necessity. Seeing you with your team...
I appreciate you saying that.
The only thing worse than being wrong is realizing it. Elganon's pride is no greater than... But he denies any failure on his part. And your team trusts you. And you listen to them. It took me centuries to build such a bond during my rebellion. And when I served the Inquisition, I tried to avoid entanglements.
What about the Inquisitor?
He does. One of several I grew fond of despite my... There was also Cole, the spirit of... He was the only one who knew who I really was. I miss him a great deal. Josephine, the Inquisition's ambassador, was a bastion of kindness. Even Cassandra Pendergast of the Order of the Seekers. She was what a believer should be. Faithful. I suppose I did bond with the Inquisition after all.
Thank you for sharing that.
Elganon and Gillenane are preparing the dagger they will use for their ritual to pierce the veil. Elganon's power is tied to light and darkness. He will need...
That gives us some time to...
It is likely to be your last. You must be ready for whatever comes. For this world and for the... I know that you will do everything.
So now Elganon's recovered his own archdemon, and the gods only need an eclipse to complete their dagger.
We saved the Dalish, though. That's important.
But now Elganon's immortal, so long as his archdemon lives.
And we all know how hard those things are to kill.
We killed Razakale, didn't we?
After losing hundreds of wardens, and it took a centuries-old trap to do it. We don't have either of those. Not anymore.
Just when you think the tide's in your favor, it turns right back.
The odds on this were never good, but we've already beaten them once. We have a job to finish, and 2 gods to kill. We don't get to wallow in wine, because no one else is taking this fight.
Nice speech, Rook.
But it's hard to complete a contract if you don't know where the target is.
We found the gods before. Not without help we didn't. So we get help again. We've got allies everywhere now.
What about the Venatori that were at the crater?
No one will risk being an informant. Not while they're Venatori. It's a dead end.
The crows may have. The Antam are moving large quantities of weapons, armor, and food. About half are enough to feed the Antam.
Given the timing, it seems...
Wherever those supplies are headed, that's likely where we'll find the guy. Any more details from the crows, Lucanus?
They said the Antam have long work ahead. We have time. Also, Biago would like him. At your earliest convenience.
We've got options for what we do next. Figuring out where the Antam are taking those supplies should put us on the God's trail.
Not to complicate things, but the Inquisitor also wants to meet Rook.
Right. With everything he's been doing in the south, we owe him an update.
I'll let him know.
Despite the odds, we've survived. We've made a habit of it. Take some time. Rest. Be ready to go. Next time the gods appear, let's make sure it's the last.